Hello in YouTube land. It's time for another adventure of being Sarah, and of course I'm Sarah. This is my second attempt at this particular video because I realized with the first video that I got a little way too super rambly when I was trying to paint my nails. Because I was trying to multitask to have my nails painted, which I like how they turned out. I just didn't have enough time to put the matte top coat on. Oh well, it looked fine. Because I like to paint my nails for the games that I either play or run. And I was playing a game tonight. I was playing Stella, and I like to wear this particular red when I play her because it's pretty serious as hell on wheels, and she likes technology and cars and such. So we're going to do a take two because that was a little way too rambly. I said, a whole lot. So, where have I been? December was a really bad month for me, just in general. The first half of the month was more feeling bad, like emotional feeling bad, and then the second half of the month was, oh, I feel really, really bad, like physically. And so there it is. I was originally not going to do a video on the 4th, and so obviously I didn't. And then I was supposed to do a video on the 11th. Sorry, I have an itch. And I decided, oh, well, wait a minute. Why don't I not do a video because then I can show you finish. Because I started something because it felt bad emotionally. And that was because 5 years ago at the beginning of December, I had been super, super excited about having to go and get my fingerprints done for this temp job at the place where I eventually was hired on full-time. And I was so excited because this was the second time I was going back to the same department as a temp, and it was going to be good, and it was a good job. And I just the whole thing just hit me at once at the beginning of the month, because I had gone voluntarily to second shift so that nobody had to rearrange their schedules too much. So of course I didn't get to learn some stuff that if I had been able to have the opportunity to learn this function and that function and that function and that function, then maybe I would have had the skills needed already in place for when they did away with half the department. I can't remember if I told you guys that or not. But it is what it is. So the first couple weeks were not good emotional wise. And then I don't remember why excuse me, the 18th was not a good day. I have 18th, not a good day. So for whatever reason, I almost think that I was like super busy or something. I don't know. I wish I had taken better notes. I don't know. So, but whatever reason it was, the 20th, that Wednesday, I was like, oh, okay, I'll get up later and do a video. Yes, I'll do my video and explain blah de blah de blah. Okay, so like that morning, I had woken up. I don't remember, like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and you know how when you wake up and you go pee, and then you're so awake you can hear colors? Yeah, that's how it was. So I was like, okay, well, I'll take a little nap. Okay, I'll take a little nap. Yeah, that'll work. And, get up and film my video, and yay, everything will be good. What do they say about the road with good intentions? Yeah, because that totally just did not happen. Because, like, my mom had a dentist appointment for that day, so she's on her way out the door in the early for us, in the morning, and I was like, okay, I'll just lay down, blah, blah, blah. Fine. Well, on this part of my back, over, it's a little hard to, you can't see where my hand is, but my flank, which would be this side of my back, on that side, right there. That started to really, really hurt. I mean, really, really hurt. And if you haven't had a kidney stone, that's one of the signs that you have a kidney stone, is where your back, the side of the back, especially near the middle where the kidneys are, really hurts. And it doesn't matter what way you sit, stand, lay, hover, whatever. There is no good position. We'll just put it that way. You could sit, you could stand, you could whatever. Doesn't matter. And so I realized, okay, this isn't good. So I tried to take a nap. I had taken some Tylenol, and, well, that really wasn't helping. So I called the doctor's office, and I made an appointment, and blah, 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 blah. And my mom finally came home, and she took me to the doctor's appointment. Excuse me. Yes, evidently I get on camera, and, well, I have to cough. So she took me to the appointment, and they, have you do tests, blah, blah, blah. And they come back, oh yeah, yes, there's microscopic blood in your urine, so yeah, you have a kidney stone. Great. And this was much more painful than the ones that I've had in the past, because I had them back in, I don't know, 2008? Yeah, something like that. I think I had 2 in 2008, and then maybe in 2010-ish, 2009-ish, somewhere in there. And I don't remember them ever being this painful. And evidently I make very strange noises with this. If you're at all familiar with the YouTuber Markiplier, and if you've ever seen if you go and look at the Getting Over It video, that's very reminiscent of the noises that I was making. So, yeah, that was not at all pleasant. So, 36 hours later, I'm like, hey, what's that? Mom's like, oh, hey, I think it's a stone. Yay. We're all good, right? 2 days later, yeah, flank pain. And I discovered with that second time, I'm like, oh, I'm going to use the heating pad from the beginning, and I'm going to take the good drugs that they put me on. Yes, give me the drugs. I don't care. No, children, I'm not advocating drug use unless you're in extreme pain like kidney stone, which, according to people who have had both, they're worse than giving birth. I don't actually know that, but I will trust the people who tell me that. So I'm thinking, okay, everything's over, right? No, I did a third one on Christmas Day, actually, about 8:30 at night. And by that time, and they got less and less painful with each one. But by that time, I was basically wandering around the house while wearing my green mint furry robe. I was wandering around the house looking like Wally from Dilbert with my mug, #not sponsored, just of water. And I think I probably drank about 15 of these, and I don't know. I'm exaggerating. I don't know. So yeah, that's really, partially why I haven't been around. Let's see. Oh, you may have noticed this little red and white creature. This is Rosebutt. Rosebutt, I'm not sure if Rosebutt is a he or she, but Rosebutt has a rose for a butt. I'm not sure where. Oh, wait, here we go. Hello, my name is Rosebutt. I am part dinosaur, part albino platypus, and part rose. Not really sure how you get the platypus, but hey, whatever. So, yeah. Rosebud came to me in a Christmas package from my friend Gilly, who was the one that went across the pond for school. And so I have no idea why, but Rosebud is just absolutely adorable. And Rosebud may be being in more videos. It's very fierce. Protects my room. Okay, so there's that. So let's see, other things that have happened. I have a whole list. Well, you're not really interested in that right yet, so let's go into Stitchy stuff. So I have a little bit of haul. I don't really know exactly where I put everything after I had. I'm not sure where one of my needle minders. Anyway, I got some needle minders. Oh, that's right, it's up here. Sorry. Sit up there, Rosebud. So I have a badger. Badger. And another one that I got that I basically let Mom pay me back, and so I could have them for Christmas. I think it was called a copper rose, and if I can find it was something like Winton Junction or something like that. I don't. Okay. That's alrighty. Put you over here and you over here. Behave yourselves. Sorry, some quarreling with magnets. So I got those for Christmas. I had also gotten another one, which that goes on a whip over here. But another thing that I got also for Christmas that I got off of eBay for Mom to give to me. You can kind of see it's an embossed picture on the envelope of the nativity star. It says the nativity. And yes, it's the Marbeck leaflets of the nativity. So got the Holy Family, the Bethlehem Star, the angels, the shepherds, the wise men, shepherd boy, and camel. And they all combine into this funky frame, which I'm sure people have seen. I recently saw on Stitch Mania where somebody had stitched it on black, and it was just fantastic. So I'm really tempted to stitch it on black. I had also picked up, I think a lot of seven. Was it 7 other angels? It's the same one that I got the. No, it wasn't the same lot. The Shalom Angel was separate, but it was the same time when I got those. Anyway, speaking of eBay, I found several things on eBay, and I mean, I love eBay for vintage stuff because they're awesome. And for some reason, I was like, gee, I want to see what kind of like cardinal stuff they have. Because cardinals are the state bird of Virginia. And so I just put in cardinal cross stitch. And so I was able to get these for a fairly decent price for each one of them. This one has jingle bells in it. And it's got a cute little hanger for this this joy banner. Or, yeah, joy banner. And it's called Cardinal Joy. It was a sweet little banner, and I was like, oh yes, I like that. And another one I got that seems to be a little not quite my normal taste or whatever. When you see it, you'll be like, why is she getting this? She doesn't do this kind of thing. I don't think this was actually originally kit. It kind of looks like somebody just kitted it together and then put it up because there's 2 skeins of 321, a piece of 18 count. I mean, it could be, but I don't know. But it's definitely not a photocopy. It's definitely a leaflet. It's called Cardinal Blessings. And the stuff around is back stitching, and then that part is all cross stitch. And I was like, huh, well that's kind of neat. And then it reminded me of that red sampler that I got, I don't know. I think I stitched that in 2004-ish. I'm not really entirely for sure. It's when you've been stitching for as long as I have, things tend to blur, and you're like, oh, that was only 3 or 4 years ago. That was only 5 or 6 years ago, and it was like 15. I exaggerate only a little. But yeah, I'm like, well, this is neat. It's only the one color. Yeah, I could do that. So I have no idea when I'm going to do that. But the piece de resistance, which I had seen this elsewhere on eBay, and they wanted like $80 for it or something like that. I don't know. And I was like, well, I'll just look the name what they listed this under and see if there's any others. And so yes, there is. I think I got it for like, I don't know, $12, something like that. I don't remember. I'm not entirely for sure what he's carrying. It might be pearl. I don't know. It might be seed. But there's something really, I don't know, almost whimsical about this to me. Whimsical country? I don't know. I'm making stuff up. So the other things that I got since the last time I saw you guys, other than, floss, I got some floss because I needed for this thing over here that I'm going to talk about. Yeah, that's about it that I only bought. So I got 2 patterns on Etsy, both from Ingleside Imaginarium, and you guys are probably familiar with the 2017 Dragon Sow stitch along. I was like, oh, I really like this. I have no idea when I'm going to stitch this. I kind of wish I had discovered this in 2016, but hey, I wasn't really stitching then, so that can be excused, because I would have gotten that in 2016, and I would have stitched it all the way. I totally would. I would have. I would have a finished one right now. But the other one, the 2018 Mystery Stitch Along, also by Ingleside Imaginarium, the Guardians of Notre Dame. And yes, this is on black and white. And yes, January has already come out. This is the cover page from the original PDF version, which of course doesn't have the parts. So I got that because gargoyles. Oh, I know, I love dragons, but there's something just weird about gargoyles. The fact that they're just not used that much in mythology and such. Like, you don't see them. You see dragons a lot more, like Smog, Dungeons and Dragons, things like that. But I've encountered them twice in games. Once when I was playing in a mythic game, and the gargoyles decided to try to eat our characters to prevent us from getting into a building in Rapanathok. Yeah, that never really, I don't know why that, whatever. That excuse me. I think my throat is a bit dry. Anyway, I'm not really sure why I wasn't called to go back to play that game, but, or if that was ever restarted or whatever. Whatever. I Oh, and then in my game, I decided to use them when the rogue was trying to sneak around. It's like, oh, really? You're gonna? Okay, yeah, sure. That sounds like a great idea. Make your stealth check. Okay, you made your stealth check. And let's see if your fiance makes her stealth check. Okay, she does. And let's see if your cousin, who is a dwarf, who is wearing armor and has no stealth, makes this stealth. Oh, yeah, not good. So the gargoyles get their attention gets drawn, and he's like, "Get in the building!" So the dwarf's getting in the building, and the rogue / cleric decides he's going to try to intimidate a gargoyle. Oh, that's precious. And so he basically did, "Come at me, brah." And the gargoyle was like, "Oh, really? Hey, guys, fresh meat." And there were 6 more. He is very lucky that his fiance went first, or before the gargoyles in the initiative order, and she was able to pull him inside the building. Now, whether that was a good thing was, still to be seen. Hey! Anyway, so gargoyles, yes. So that's why I was very excited about that. As to new starts, I had some cross-stitch stuff and some non-cross-stitch stuff, etc. So I started my Christmas socks. I started my sister's Christmas socks. Every year I like to have everybody who is going to be there on Christmas morning get a new pair of socks, because I just think it's a neat Christmas tradition that I started a few years ago. Of course, me being me was like, hey, they have knitting patterns, right? Okay. So yeah, so that means I have to knit them. Although technically I could just buy socks or whatever, but it's a tradition. So I did just very brightly colored socks, which of course I forgot to, they're over there. I don't have telekinesis. I can't get them. Anyway, so I decided to use the very bright yarn called the Capital from Lady Pearl Designs. And then I knit my sister some Felici socks in the colorway Cheer, which is red, and it's supposed to be red and white, but it's more red and pink. And I, of course, decided to do the candy cane socks, which are really cool. They have these candy cane lace pattern. And it gets kind of boring after a while when you have to knit 8 repeats of them. Anyway. But I was able to get those both started. Let's see. Since I was doing pretty bad emotional-wise, I decided, well, maybe not pretty bad, but I needed to pick me up. We'll just put it that way. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wait until the 17th for the new start sale. So I am going to start my Old Jack Frost. And I basically started on about the 5th or so. And I kind of forgot to participate in the full coverage on the 5th stitch along. Oh well. Which reminds me, I didn't really participate too well in the Nano Stitchmo thing. Because, some people were like, oh, I'm going to stitch 50 things. I'm going to start 50 things. I'm going to do 50 stitches a day. I'm going to work on something with 50 colors. I was like, okay, well, I have enough, I have enough whips that I could work on something 50 things. Now, I got through day 9. So the first day, I worked on Faces of Fairy 99. And the second day, I worked on the wreath ornament that I had started at work. And I finished that. And then, yeah. And sorry, I'm pretty sure I showed that in the finishes. Anyway, that's day 3. I worked on the tribal otter and the skating penguins. Day 4, I didn't work on anything. Day 5, I worked on quick stitch kissing frogs. Day 6 was very busy. I worked on the balance, which was the feng shui mums. Wow, that was garbled. I also worked on my Tiffany Nativity stocking. I also worked on Vive la France, which I really should just finish that. That's not that much. Maybe I'll do that for February. I don't know. I haven't really thought that far ahead. And also Vibrant Virginia. Wow, that is a lot of V's. Day 7, I didn't do anything. Day 8, I worked on Autumn Angel and Story Keep Evil Queen. And then day 9, which was the last day I worked on this Nano Stitch Mo, was the Gay Pride Heart. And then I kind of petered out and I decided, okay, well, I'll just work on 99. And that was back in November. I can't remember if I told you guys about that or not, but now I have. So as I said, around the 5th or so, I started the Old Jack Frost, and then that was the one that I was working on the following week on the 11th, where I was like, well, maybe if I just finish this, blah de blah de blah. Okay, well, I finished it, but I didn't get around to filming. And then when the 17th came around, which was the new star, I was like, hey, wait a minute, I could just start the gargoyles. It's the Guardians, whatever. So I did. And I got the inner part. There's the 2 colors. There's a lighter grayish purpley color, and then 535, which is the darker color. So I did all of the darker color. And then I had to wait for Gentle Arts Moonlit Path, or whatever it is, to come in from 123 Stitch. And yeah, they need to get their stuff together, man, because they need to put on there when something's out of stock or back ordered or waiting from the distributor or something, or when you go to click something that's out of stock or back ordered or waiting from the distributor, there needs to be a second step confirmation thing that says, hey, this is out of stock. Do you still want to add it to your cart? Okay. Something like that, because they had one date and then they changed it on my delivery date thing. I'm going to go off on a tangent. So they had, when I ordered it, I think there was a 12/28 or 12/29 date. Then that changed the next day. And it said this for a while, because I kept checking 8 times a day, saying shipping date or date to ship or something like that, December 21st or 22nd, something like that. Hang on. Show me the calendar. No, it was the 22nd. That's what it was. Because I was like, oh boy. If you get it 3 to 5 business days, that would put 22nd, or 3 to 5 shipping days. 3 to 5 days to ship. So it'd be the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, which is a Sunday, so we put it on the 25th, but that's Christmas, so no mail, so the 26th. Because I remember that distinctly because I got so excited that it was going to be the day after Christmas. Yes. And then I woke up and checked it again, and it said January 6th, which would be technically today. I was like, oh no. No, 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 no. This is not what it said. This is what it said. And they were like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you need to get your stuff together. Do not tell me. Do not give me excuses like that. No, 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 no. Yeah, so I was really brassed off at that. So, luckily it came in, and I was able to obviously start it because you start that part of it. Let's see. So, the things I worked on, I worked on Story Keep Evil Queen for the Disney something or other. I did this one purple section that's right here. So, not a whole lot, but I only worked on it for like a day-ish. So that wasn't that bad. And oh, there it is. I was like, where is it? And so I also worked on my sister's stocking, which, to remind you guys, it's this Christmas rose. Of course, I started here, and I have, that's the part that I have done. And of course, Pommy needle minder. So there will be a rosebud here, and a bigger rose down in here, a big rose up here, and a rose down here. And so I, of course, for half a second, had the delusion of, oh, if I work on it every day from now until Christmas, I could get it done and finished for her. No. You're delusional. So, I am going to continue to work on this for this year. Because in Stitch Mania, there's like a Christmas all year round or something like that style. So I'm going to try for that. I'm going to try to work on this so that next year for Christmas I can have it all finished. Hey, it's like, what is that? It's a bow. It's not a rose. Anyway, so I'm going to try to get that done for her for next year. Well, technically this year. The next Christmas. You know what I mean. And then I also worked on my Gay Pride heart, and this is the one that has the needle minder, also from Winton Junction or something like that. I think that's what it's called. And so I have it all completely outlined, and I'm currently working on this part of the red. So I want to get the red done and then go to the blue and etc. and go up, because the orange has the most. I don't like orange. And of course, when I saw this, which is the reason why I got the other two for Mom to give to me, I was like, oh my gosh, it's adorable. There are only two left. And these ones are kind of neat because they sit up from the needle minder, or from the fabric. Like, here's the fabric, and you see how much it sits up? I don't know if you can kind of tell, but I can keep it on the top like that, on the enamel part, but if I put it between the fabric and the needle minder, there's like a shelf, like that. If I put it in there, between them, it sits real well. So, yeah. Oh, I also did get another thing. Come here. I almost forgot. I got a big hoop. Why did I get a big hoop? that I can use as a picture frame? Well, yes, because it will be a picture frame. So I am going to, come on, behave yourself. I'm going to frame it like that. Well, obviously not with the needle miner, because I'm keeping that. Go, no, give me back the technical difficulties with, yeah, so that will go in the frame. And it was kind of neat because I was like, oh no, it's not wood. And it's like, oh no, I don't like this price. And then it was like, oh, it's 40% off. I like that price a lot better. So yeah, it's a quilting hoop. And I'm really looking forward to trying to get this done, and because the recipient loves it already. And I know he's just going to go absolutely gaga once it's all finished, etc., etc. And then, of course, I worked on 99. Of course, I had to also work on, socks. So I was like, man, I really want to get this done by the end of the year. So I did work on that. And, of course, I did have some finishes. I have 2 cross-stitch finishes and technically 3 or 4 knitting finishes. I finished my mom's Christmas socks, which were Surf Slip Felici. So blues and some purples. I think there's a stripe of purple in it. Anyway. And then my socks, my Christmas 2017 socks, and my sister's Christmas 2017 socks. And I found the other one of my 2016 Christmas socks which were the Hawthorne, were they Hawthorne? Highland Felici, which is just a bunch of stripes of green. And yeah, and then when I found it, I was like, oh crud, there's a hole in here. So I basically, like, if this is the foot, like here's the heel, like about that much of the foot had to be taken out and reknit. You can't really tell, and I mean I can tell because I'm the one that reknit the stupid thing, but nobody else can. So let's see, I finished those. I did finish. Oh, what's fun? Forgot to show you some more whips. So we'll go back to that for a second. Yes, because I looked at Face the Fairy 99. Okay, so I have this one. The Gargoyles, the Guardians of Notre Dame. And yes, I know, my cutting wasn't great on there. Anyway. But yes, this is January, and I have a sugar skull, needle minder, whatever. But, so, the inner part, the darker part of the inner ring, I got that done before I took it. Day was that? I don't really remember. I took this with me to the boyfriend's when I went to go visit him out of town for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day because he had off. So we decided that we were going to watch Stranger Things Season 2 and eat Eggo waffles like all day. So we ate a crap ton of waffles. We ate lots and lots of waffles. I could do without seeing a waffle for a while because waffles. But seeing as 11 loves waffles and 11 is in Stranger Things Season 2. So yes, waffles. Yes. So between watching Stranger Things Season 2 and I finally got to watch the Christmas special before last, Season 10 of Doctor Who, and the most recent Christmas special. I'm all caught up on Doctor Who, by the way. So I got all the lighter gray here, most of this, and most of that. The darker gray up in here, I got that done after and the connecting part. The connecting part I got done before I started on the gargoyle, or sorry, chimera, and then that after. And the plan is I'm going to circle around as much as possible. I'm starting with the February spoke, and then I'm going to continue around so that, of course, it will look like that with January. And this portion, January, which, look at the awesomeness of that, I got that done in about 24 hours. Now, yes, I did sleep. But yeah, I got that pretty much all done. Of course, that was also the day that I found out that I can't really have almonds anymore. Yeah. My dad gave me a bag of chocolate-flavored almonds, dark chocolate-flavored almonds, and I'm like, oh yay, I love almonds. Yay! Well, I can't really eat them anymore because they make my mouth itch. And so I didn't eat any more than about 20 or so. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll eat some. Blah, blah, blah. They tasted really good. Really, really good. And then my stomach started hurting. I'm like, I don't feel good. And it got a little worse. I'm like, well, you know, when your stomach starts turning and you're like, oh, hey, wait, I think I'm hungry. So I thought it was like that. So I decided it was a great idea to eat some hot dogs. Because I was like, oh, that's quick and easy to make. I'll eat those. 2 hours later, after I ate the almonds, when I was still feeling really, really bad, and I mean really, really bad, my stomach went, bye, Felicia, to the almonds, and consequently also the hot dogs. Yes, I'm not eating almonds anytime soon. Now, it's kind of weird because I had that reaction not the whole reaction, but the mouth itching part, when the last time I ate almonds with no coverings. But I know I've eaten since then, in the last 6 months at least, almonds that were chocolate covered or almonds that were in chocolate, and I didn't have any problems. I'm almost, and I say almost, I'm almost tempted to get like a chocolate bar. You know the Hershey's chocolate bar with almonds? I'm almost tempted to get that and scientifically test out. But I'm not going to do just raw almonds because no, that was not happy. That was a very unhappy Sarah tummy. Sarah does not like that. No, she does not. Rosebutt was not happy either. Anyway, so finishes. So the first thing that I finished was Old Jack Frost. And yes, I sign and date my work so you can see it. It's a little hard to tell from this what parts are stitched. You can kind of tell a little bit better on the back. You can see there's these icicles and these more icicles down here and trees and the snowball, magic snowball, and his staff and some floaty snowflake thingies. But yeah, this took me about a week to do. It's the embellished cross stitch. And I had done this years and years ago. Like, I don't know, the early 2000s. Was it the early 2000s? Maybe it's 1999, 2001. Yeah, maybe 2001-ish. I don't know. The reason why I don't know is because I don't have any pictures of that one, and I have absolutely no idea what in the name of sanity happened to that one. Like, I remember when it was still on the scroll frame that I had it on originally, and it was under the bed, but I know I finished it. I don't know where it went to. Stupid borrowers or underpants gnomes. But yeah, so I am super happy with how this turned out. There's another one by the same company or whatever. I guess it's company. Anyway, the same people did another one, which is it's in a forest, and there's like these rays coming down, like starlight rays, something like that. And it's a fairy in a purple dress, and she's got a unicorn next to her. And I really would like to get that one. I don't really feel like shelling out $40 on eBay, although, you know. But I don't want like the counted cross stitch version of that. The first time I did that one, I was annoyed because I didn't realize it was embellished cross stitch. I thought it was you stitched the whole thing. So I was really kind of pissed off the first time I stitched this one. This time I knew it was embellished, and that's what I wanted to do. It was actually quite enjoyable this time because I knew what it is. And yes, there was a pattern, but the pattern doesn't exactly line up sometimes. But it does, but it doesn't, but it does. So you just sort of have to fudge. So, then my last finish of 2017 was started on October 19th, 2014. Finished December 30th, 2017. It was after midnight, so December 30th. On 22 count heart hanger. The first of the very long-term project. Faces a Fairy 99. She's going to hypnotize you with her eyes. She's a vampire after all. But yes. Yes, I am super chuffed with how she turned out. It was really funny because I was trying to get all the ones with the major stitches. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to finish the confetti ones. And once I got those out of the way, well, first I did the rest of this very light pale yellow, which this is actually like a cream color. It's a little hard to tell from here, but it's definitely a cream color. So add cream color heart hanger to pale yellow, and you'll see why this portion and this portion was probably the most difficult to do. And most of the dark color is actually $9.39. I had enough for one strand left, or one, not strand, but one more threading of the needle, where it was 2 strands left out of the last piece. Oh yeah. But 99 is done. There were only like 5 or 6 ninja stitches left, like an M or this or whatever symbol. But yeah. So I love how she turned out. I am really hopeful that the next one turns out just as well, which I'm sure she will. Which, speaking of, yeah, I did. I started her. The next one does not look like much. I spent most of last night gridding, because I grid because that's what I do with full coverage pieces like this. I used this is 22 count heart hanger, which you can kind of see when I put them side by side that this is a yellower color than this one. But I don't really particularly care. I want the heart hanger. I don't care so much about the tone, whether it's cream or white or whatever. So I used 8-pound red monofilament fishing line. The gerbils were out and helped me while I oh, there it is. I'm like, where's the magnet? I put it over there. Oh, my short-term memory. I don't know. Anyway, so yes, there's my grand giant start. Fuzzy. But I did work on this a bit while I was at the game, and I'll probably take it with me on Sunday when I go and DM. Oh wow. But yeah, so since there are over 14,000 black stitches, yes, let's see, there are 14,427 stitches of 310. Okay, yeah, so I don't get stuck with a bunch of them at the end like I did with 939. I'm taking off a length, or whatever, length of black, and since it's done on 22 count hardware with 2 strands for full crosses, that means I can get 3 pieces, basically 3 threadings of the needle out of that one length of floss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a full length of that floss, then I'm going to work on another color, and then I'm going to come back and do another length of 310, and so on and so forth. And then hopefully it won't be quite such a pain in my butt. But so I started her on the 5th. There's no finish date. There are 52,192 stitches, and my goal date is to get her done by November 11th. You can't really see too well. You can see that there's something here and here and here. Those are poppies. Those are bright red poppies. So that's why I want to get her done for November 11th, because that's the 100th anniversary of, the World War I, the end of World War I. So yeah, so I have that, and of course I also worked on the Guardians, Sal, and so I'm going to continue working on that. I know I will get it, the very least I'll get the February one. I would like to get them all done so that way I can, with February, I can just do the February one and then put it away, and March and put it away, etc., etc. Let's see my plans. Finish Christmas stocks. Already done that. Faces of Fairy 99. Try to get done by end of year. Yep, did that. Border of Gargoyles. I'm working on that. Gargoyles Part 1 releases January 1st. I'm already done with that. Sometimes it's easier just to call it Gargoyles. I don't know. Whatever. Let's see, the rest of my plans include as much as I can on 161, finish the border if possible, at least February's petal, and I also of course want to do bears and heart drops. The bears are the crocheted bears that I make to take with me to the neighborhood watch meeting and give to the police officer. And then the heart drops, it's a little like the painted rocks where people find them and we're like, oh, isn't that neat? It's supposed to like spread love type of thing. And there's a group on Facebook that they're stitching little hearts and leaving them places. And so I decided, okay, well, I'll just pull out all these various like anchor. I don't use anchor, but I have like a bunch of anchor that have accrued all over the years, and J&P Coates and Clark or whatever. And then I have like remnants from like, here's some Marlet. That ought to probably be a real pretty heart. And then like here's some water lilies that I don't have that much left of. I can make some hearts out of that. Blue lavender. Blues and purples and even some light effects. This is pretty. It's E135. It kind of like reminds me of some sort of beachy thing. And so I have to figure out what kind of plastic canvas or whatever I'm going to use, because I don't know if I can use the perforated plastic that I was using for the candle thingies or whatever. So I'm not sure. So I haven't actually started any of those, but I have, of course, as you saw, a whole little bag. I mean, I could probably get a few hundred, couple thousand, maybe not. But I could get quite a lot. And I'm thinking about adding a hanger and then maybe like nailing them places. Let's see. Oh, and that's right. That reminds me, a temperature stitch along. You guys have probably seen that, like in the groups or whatever. I've been tracking, so far I've been tracking like the daily temperatures in the city where I live. Well, city next to where I live. Anyway, whatever. I have a website that I went to. Yeah, we'll go with that. So, yeah. Let's see. So I need to figure out the colors and things like that. I think I'll probably just do little blocks. Not really entirely for sure. Anyway, let's see what else. I think that's it. Oh, Welcome to Night Vale. That's right. Evidently, Welcome to Night Vale is going to become a television show. That'll be awesome. It's kind of like it's a podcast. You can find it on YouTube, and it gets kind of creepy and weird. It's like Call of Cthulhu meets Lake Wobegon. And some of the characters have made it into my game. They have. It's just a little faintly bizarre. We'll just put it that way. But it's very entertaining, and FX is evidently turning it into a television show, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. So that's all I have for my update, where I've been, etc., etc. I have a tag for the year in cross-stitch, or cross-stitch year review. I may do that like sometime tomorrow, Saturday. I guess technically this is Saturday. It'll be after I sleep though, so technically tomorrow. Not technically, so tomorrow. And so I think I may do that. So yeah, so hope you're having a good evening. This is going to take a while to upload. So Rosebutt and I will talk to you later. Okay, bye.